our boss, not here, and João is our other partner over there with the camera. Let's see if this works. First, a little bit of geography. So, Mediterranean in the whole, and we have the Levantine Sea and the Aegean Sea, and together they form the Eastern Mediterranean region. Our study area is located in South Turkey, and it's called Antalya Bay. So it's a big bay here, and it's shaded by the Levantine Sea. Right. So, okay, I'll just explain a little bit more. For those who don't know, so the Aegean is just shared by Greece and Turkey, and the Levantine is shared by many countries. So you have Egypt, Lebanon, Israel, Syria, Turkey, and you have Cyprus here in the middle. So it's shared by many countries, and it's a very big area, even within the Mediterranean. And despite this, it still has a very big lack of data, and there's a big lack of knowledge on all cetacean species, and in particularly on beaked whale species. So the Levantine is really eager for more research. So far, everything we have on the Levantine in the literature is based on some anecdotal evidence. It's based on a few strandings along the coast, and there were 2 surveys that tracked the whole Levantine. They only tracked it once, and during summer months, so it was not really representative of the whole area. This was not done by our organization, it was done in previous years. In this sense, our organization, DMAD, is the first one to implement a long-term survey in the Levantine, systematic one. Hopefully, throughout the years, we can build a better picture of all cetacean species, including beaked whales. We are interested in the biodiversity, abundance, and distribution, and as well as behavior. We take everything we can at the moment. And it's not working. I hope the next slide will come eventually. Okay, crashed. It's okay. I'll just go along and explain. Like Maria said and Max said, okay, here we go. There's a lot of data on the Western and the Central Mediterranean, whatever you want to classify it as, for cetaceans and for beaked whales as well. We saw their presentations, and there's a lot of data, a lot of sightings, and some knowledge, even though Cuviers, the most common one in the Mediterranean, is still classified as data deficient. For the Eastern Mediterranean, most of the sightings come from the Aegean Sea. From 1991 to 2001, we have around 100 sightings of beaked whales, all species identified or not, and around 72 strandings. Most of them occurred within the Aegean Sea on both Turkish and Greek coasts. For the other half of the Eastern Mediterranean, the Levantine, the numbers are really, really low. So we have, in literature recorded, only 21 strandings of beaked whales. This since 1964, which is the first recording sighting of a beaked whale stranded in Turkey, through 2012, which is the last one recorded, also in Turkey. And we have half of the strandings recorded was in Turkish coast, and the other half is from Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. So they are quite spread around. There's nothing recorded for Egypt, but probably that's because nobody recorded it, because we do believe that they are there. Live sightings. Live sightings for the Levantine Sea. We have one in Israel, 2003, recorded by a trawler, and they identified it as a Cuvier's beaked whale. And then we have 2 from an earlier survey, not from our feed. In total, we have 3 live sightings of beaked whales recorded for the Levantine Sea. So that there's obviously a big difference between the eastern and the western Mediterranean, and also within the eastern, there's a big difference between the Aegean Sea and the Levantine Sea, which we do support the idea that this is based on a low survey effort and not in actually low abundance of animals. So we started our own surveys, and we have here the bay. The bay is not very deep. It's averaging between 300 and 600 meters deep, but it does have some areas that go beyond the 1,000 meters. And during our surveys, we try to expand through track lines and some random efforts as bigger areas we could, try to gather as much data as we could. Unfortunately, because it's not so deep and we needed to go a little bit offshore, we only did 5 surveys so far that took us beyond the 1,000 meters depth. The 1,000 meters depth is important for cuviers because they are recorded to be, well, to have a preference for deeper areas where they can go deep diving as they like. It's interesting because on 5 of those surveys beyond the 1,000 meters, we had 3 of those where we saw the beaked whales. So it's, for now, a higher rating, but for us it's good news. The first one here, based on the last presentation, now we can assume it's a female. It was a very brown individual further away. It was just on the root of the boat. We saw it, but we couldn't see the fin at first, so we just saw a big log in the water. What is it? What is it? And once we got close, it started to move, and we saw the fin, like, oh my god, it's a big whale. It's very happy, very screaming around the boat. We took that picture. Fortunately, it came out a little bit, and we saw its face, identified as a cuvier, and then it dove, reappeared a little bit further away. We saw a second individual at that time, couldn't take the picture, and both of them then dove, and that was it. A few days later, again, roughly on the same spot, we spotted another whale further away. This was around 400 meters. In this case, we saw it, we didn't got close with the boat because we know they're quite shy, and we saw it for a few minutes, then it dove, and that was it again. And a few months went by, nothing to report, and then we had a very sneaky one that appeared just in front of our boat, like 50 meters. We were cruising, we were just off effort at this time, we were just finishing a big offshore trip, and we were cruising back to the port, heard a blow, looked forward, there's a big whale, oh my god, went under the boat. 2 seconds later, it was just on the side of the boat, went under again, and that was it. So this is the only picture we could get. Like, no, what's happening? Yeah, so these 3, we believe we saw them during their breeding interval because they were really resting in the surface. The last one, clearly, it wasn't expecting us, and we weren't expecting it because it got frightened, it got confused under the boat, and it disappeared. The other 2, again, had a reaction to our boat. We didn't approach them on purpose, we were following our route, and the first one was in front of us, and the other one was just on the side, and they moved away from us, and eventually they dove, and we couldn't see them again. Interesting, all of the 3 sightings were, they occurred in an area of 6 kilometers squared, so a radius of 6 kilometers after we mapped, and it's a difference of, some months. They also were done between 650 meters, the second one, 850 meters, and 1,000 meters depth. So it's an area where we have a drop-off in that sense. We were the only boat around, there was nobody else, they didn't like us very much, ran away, but, we're trying to be nice. Okay, some conclusions. Those 3 sightings, they double the number of sightings for the Levantine, so good for us. And they do point us in the direction that other authors that study the Eastern Mediterranean and the Western Mediterranean follow that it's more of a survey effort issue, we believe. Of course, we need to actually do the long-term monitoring to actually say, okay, they are here and these are the numbers. But we do believe that it's a survey effort issue and not an abundance issue regarding this area. So we will try to cover that. Another point is because the area we spotted them, and again, we did went around the bay and even surrounding areas quite a lot. But because we saw those individuals on a very, very small-ish area, we do believe that that area might be of some relevance to the beaked whales within that part of the Mediterranean. Might be, again, more studies are needed. Hopefully, during the rest of the research, we'll find out if it really is and we get enough data to match it. But we get this idea that it might be important for resting or breeding. But again, maybe we'll start the photo ID with better pictures than those. And try to identify male, female. And the second individual that we saw was actually a calf because it was quite small, but because it was further away, we couldn't say anything else. That's it, basically. We had 3 sightings, and here we are.